Welcome back to the morning news and a good Monday morning to you. Lots of great feedback after having Tristan Flynn of Jolly Tales on our show, so we're going to be seeing a lot more of the award-winning certified personal dog trainer on the morning news in a segment we like to call Dog Talk with Tristan Flynn. Tristan, good Monday morning, sir.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Tell us about the special guest we have with you this morning here.
So this is Berlin. She's owned by good friends of mine, Jason Colley and Jennifer Taylor. She's a 2-year-old Doberman.
Wow.
So I thought we'd bring her on and talk about animal husbandry.
You were telling me that she was going to be very excited and, on her leash, she was going to be...
Yeah, I'm surprised. She's usually pretty bouncy and pretty excited, but I think she's a little nervous from all of the lights and the cameras. Right. So this is her first time. So again, whenever I have a new dog on here, I always bring lots of food to make sure they have a really good experience. She was very nervous when we came in. I think the floor is unique to her, so I want to make sure she's really comfortable. So praising her, telling her what a good girl she is, and then giving her some treats will help her relax.
Excellent. Now, the word that you just used in there, I've never heard it before, husbandry?
Yeah, animal husbandry. So it means that when we have to care for our animals and do veterinary procedures or grooming, we need to make sure that they're accepting of that. So we want to make sure it's not a battle whenever we need to do things for our dog's own health. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who have dogs who won't accept nail trims. Grooming shops all over the city have muzzles in them because dogs need to be muzzled for grooming. And it doesn't need to be that way. If we use rewards and we go slow with our animals, we can get them to accept these procedures. And it's much better for their mental health. We don't pin children down and give them haircuts or clean their teeth at the dentist. We try to make them have a good experience. And it should be the same for our dogs.
So this is a two-person job, you say, right?
Yeah, it's helpful to have two people, so we brought some tools here. These are just kind of some standard care items. So we have a set of nail trimmers. Okay. We have just a brush. So this is a brush you would use in the bath to zoom the shampoo around. Okay. It's called a Zoom Groom. Yep. And then we have a toothbrush, which a lot of people might use for themselves, but might not think of using it for their dogs.
You can use a human toothbrush on a dog.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. You want to get some special toothpaste, but you can definitely use any type of brush.
All right. Where do I come in here?
Anytime we want to start doing husbandry with our dog, we want to make sure they have a really good experience and that they link it to having something good happen to them. So I'm going to give you a handful of food here.
All right, Berlin.
And I'm going to get you to show it to her.
Closed fist?
Yeah, closed fist and show it to her. And you can start feeding her the treats.
Okay, here you go, Berlin.
So just let her have them.
Take it
and as you do that, I'm going to feed her, touch her paws. So go ahead and keep feeding her.
There you go, Berlin.
Good girl.
Good girl.
And keep feeding.
There you go, Berlin.
Good girl. And now we're going to stop feeding her. Okay. So now she's starting to learn the relationship that you don't feed her unless someone's touching her paws. So you can see she really wants those treats, but she's not going to get them unless she's getting her paws touched. So you can start again. You can give her some treats. Go ahead. And I'm going to touch her paw. Good girl. And I can even take the nail trimmer and just start touching it to her paw and give her a treat.
Here you go, Berlin.
Just shove it right in her face.
Berlin.
Good. And I'm going to touch her paw again.
So this is kind of distracting the dog from what you're doing.
Exactly. And you can see she's a little nervous. Berlin actually doesn't use a nail trimmer. She actually uses a tool called a Dremel, which is a spherical tool that grinds down the nail instead of cutting it. So some people will use those instead of the actual clippers. So she's actually not used to that. So that's her first time kind of having that near her paw. And you can see that she was a little nervous. She kind of pulled it away. But she was focused on the treat. So the next time that happens to her, she'll have a better experience. We can do the exact same thing if we have to brush the dog. So I'm going to give you some more treats again.
All right. I like
Berlin's like, this is my favorite segment ever.
Closed fist again?
Yeah, you can just show it to her, and now just start feeding it to her. You can just even open your hand and kind of let her eat them. And I'm going to just brush her.
There you go, Berlin. How was your weekend, Berlin? Yeah? Out on the trails, were you?
And then we can stop, and that's how we would get her used to the brush. And the thing that Berlin has every single night is she has her teeth brushed.
Every night?
Yep, every night her mommy brushes her teeth. So I can actually just open her mouth and just brush her teeth like this, and then you can just give her a treat if you have any.
There you go.
And so we can link that to the treats as well. So in that case, she's already had a little bit of conditioning. Okay. But if you've never brushed your dog's teeth before, I would probably start with just even lifting up their mouth. I wouldn't even involve a toothbrush. Yeah. So I would just lift up their mouth like this, whoop, really quick, and then give her a treat until she's more accepting of that. Yeah. You can also do some really quick conditioning. So you could even hide the toothbrush behind your back and show it to the dog. And then as soon as she sees it, she gets a treat. And then you can hide the toothbrush again, show it to the dog, and then give her a treat. So I want Berlin to be really excited when she sees any of her grooming tools come out. So I don't want her to see her nail trimmer and run away from me.
I want to talk about frequencies of a few of these things. You mentioned every night she gets her teeth brushed. Is that a special case just for her? How often should you be doing that?
No, there's nothing wrong with doing it, just the same as people. So
Really?
we brush our teeth, I think usually twice a day. So you can certainly do it at night for your dogs. Make sure you get all that plaque off there. For grooming, it depends on the breed. So Berlin really just kind of needs a bit of a brush and a bath. She doesn't need a lot of grooming, so we wouldn't be too concerned with brushing her. And with the nail trimmers, you kind of just want to watch the dog. The general guideline for nails is if you can hear them clacking on a hardwood floor, then maybe it's time for a little bit of a trim. And if you are going to trim your dog's nails, make sure that you do a very, very small amount. A lot of people mistakenly think that if a nail grows very long, you should just cut a lot of it off to get it short again. But the problem is the quick grows with the nail. So you have to cut a little bit of nail off, allow the quick to recede, and then cut a little more if you have a dog with really long nails. If you cut it right off, you will quick the dog and it'll bleed, and then the dog probably won't want to be near a nail trimmer again, and you'll have to do this process very slowly and very deliberately.
Well, I'm just wondering, clipping the nails, is that something you should do on your own, or should you take it to a groomer who knows what they're doing?
It depends how comfortable you are, but most nail trims average around $10 to $15, so that can be money well spent to get your whole dog's nails done and to not have to worry about the risk of actually quicking your dog, which can, again, have really adverse effects for them getting a nail trim in the future.
Excellent stuff. Excellent tips. Dog Talk, off and running here on a Monday morning. Tristan, where can people find out more information about you?
jollytails.ca, and I'm on the Sheldon McLeod Show on News 95.7 at 3 o'clock every Thursday, and we'll be talking about animal husbandry in a little bit more detail.
Excellent. I'm back on our show and again with Dog Talk in a couple of weeks.
That's right.
Okay, we're looking forward to it.
Thanks,
Tristan
Paul.
Flynn right there from Jolly Tales, located at
3484 Intercolonial Street behind the Kempt Road McDonald's.
That was a skill testing question for you. I got it right up on the screen. 3484 Intercolonial Street in Halifax. There's his phone number, of course, website, Twitter, and Facebook.